Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this one we've got Abanoob, Zosar, Masood and Kufu, the new, let's just call them the mummies. So we've got them here now, new units, only around for a limited time. We're going to talk a little bit about the limited time factor of them, and then we're going to go through their skills and have a look at them and see how good they are. There's just a couple things before we get stuck into it that I just wanted to mention. First of all, streaming tomorrow, might be today for you depending on when I upload this, 10 AM Sunday on GMT plus 10, which is Saturday Arvo in the States. I've got all my summons saved. Let's have a look how many I've actually got at the moment. So I'm going to be doing a big summon stream. I've got the 16 specials and about 142 plus a couple legendaries, and I've still got to do TOT. So I have a few more legendaries, so we're going to see if we can summon some of this guy. But yeah, so that'll be on stream tomorrow / today, depending on when this goes up. The other thing is, I've had someone message me already with that has pulled the Earth one. So eventually I will do a test with that account of that, and that was actually Casper, the guy who's done all my overlays and all my artwork and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll jump back on his account at some stage, and we will end up going through the Earth one. If anyone else has the other ones that they want to just show off, I'm happy to, if you guys hit me up, whether with an email, in Discord, anything like that, let me know. Another thing I wanted to mention was I've had a fair few people actually asking me lately about setting up to start doing YouTube and streaming, which is awesome. I love it. More people, the more the merrier. Making content, it's better for the community, helps it grow, all that sort of stuff. So what I might do is, in this video and just all my videos, I'll just leave it because I copy and paste the bulk of the notes anyway. So I'll just leave like my gear I use and like what software I use, all that sort of stuff for mirroring the phone, all that sort of stuff. I'll leave that in the description, so if you guys are interested in it, you can check it out. And also, if you want to do anything like that and you're not quite sure, just hit me up anytime on Discord or something like that. I will be over the next month or so. I've decided I'm just going to make a little YouTube tutorial about all the basics just to get you started, because when I was looking it was very overwhelming. So I was like, I'll just make a very basic one to show you how to get started, and then you can work on fine-tuning as you go from there. I mean, I'm not too advanced either, but just because I have had a lot of interest from people that want to start making content, which is awesome. So that's that. Now we'll get into the main part of the video and we'll have a look at these new units. So they are around for a limited time, and it says they'll be gone forever. I feel like it's going to be a seasonal event to summon these guys. I feel like if they just remove a monster from the game after one period of being summonable, it's a bit unbalanced. But the good thing too is that they all have really nice kits, but I feel like none of them are completely game breaking where it's like, oh my god, if you have this unit, you just dominate everywhere. And so that's the good thing about it. At least they're not just that overpowered, but they are still good. So grats to anyone that pulls these guys. So we'll go through the fire one first. We'll look at his stats. His attack's not sky high compared to some of the others. The other thing we don't know yet is skill ups, because unless someone else has pulled them, let me know skill ups if you guys have them. But MMEG farm hasn't been updated yet, so that's that one. But yeah, so this fire one, he's got good speed, so evolves into speed. Not too bad on the stats wise, but let's look at the skills. Now this third skill looks awesome if it works the way I think it works. So increases own attack speed, critical damage and critical chance for 2 turns. Awesome. Then drains 20% of their allies' HP. So I'm tipping he steals HP from all of his allies and steals 30% of the turn bar. I'm assuming again from all of his allies, which is really nice. It may seem detrimental, but it's really nice when you pair that with his second skill. So then we'll look at his second skill. If own HP is higher than 50%, which normally after using that third skill, you're going to be above 50% anyway, attack strongly all enemies. So it attacks strongly. We haven't seen strongly before, and all these guys are worded like this, so it'd be interesting to see the multipliers. So he attacks all enemies strongly and then avoids death for 2 turns at a cost of 70% of his own HP, which is fine because he's not going to die. If HP is lower than 50%, attacks strongly a single enemy and mutes them. But normally you're going to be at high HP because you'll normally be using this after this skill. So that's pretty nice. So the way I see this guy being used, I see him as an amazing arena nuker. Now, it depends on the turn bar steal against your allies. If it's resistible, that's not as great. But if your allies can't resist it, that's awesome. So you'll basically bring in a standard nuking team. Now that the Earth... That's the other thing, guys. If you haven't got the Earth Shaman yet, pick him up. I'm still working on stones. If you've saved up stones and you can, get him. He's awesome. So my team would eventually be something like, for a standard cleave, I'd bring either the Fire Monk or the Fire Vampire to, you know, give me that turn advantage. Then my Earth Zealot, Earth Shaman, Earth Zealot you can replace with Fire Nymph or Earth Fox, and then this guy. So the amazing thing about this is, your other units will move before him. So it doesn't matter if you steal their turn bar. They've already done what they need to do. Obviously talking in arena here. And then he'll increase his own... The speed doesn't really matter because if his skill scaled off speed, it'd be insane, but it doesn't. So the speed doesn't really matter, but increase his own attack, critical damage, and critical rate. So you've already got the attack and critical damage. The other amazing thing about this is, sorry, I forgot to mention this, you don't need to use you don't need to use one of those attack buffing units. So you can use the Wind Crusader, who has a higher base speed than the Zealot and all those other units. So that's the awesome thing. So you can just use the fastest turn bar booster in the game, that, or you can use the Earth Harpy. And then this guy's going to buff his own attack, crit damage, awesome. But then crit rate. Crit rate's awesome because it means if you've got really good glyphs, you might be able to glyph this guy with, you know, speed attack, double crit damage, double attack, which would be awesome. And because he's a saboteur, he does lose that little bit of crit rate. But, I mean, it does make up for it when he's getting the buff. Like, I feel like I'd be able to glyph this guy to 90 to 100% crit rate on a double crit damage. So that's awesome. So he'll be a fantastic nuker. I just think he'll work really well. Plus, he gives himself immune to death. So then even if you don't kill everyone, he should survive to be able to finish them off. The other thing is the auto attack skill. If I'm remembering this correctly, it can evolve into steal 70% chance to steal 3 beneficial effects from the enemy, or a 70% chance to reduce the turn bar by what I'm pretty sure was 40%. Both very nice evolution skills. Alright, we'll jump into the water one, the water mummy, which is Zosar. So he's got a passive, and we're getting back into the concentration focus points type of thing with these guys. And I like the way this one works. So he spreads damage received among all enemies. So, you know, you can build him squishy as an attacker and he's still going to survive. Gets 1 concentration point every turn and refills his own turn bar by 20% every time he gets attacked by an enemy, which is pretty nice. So his turns, he gains a concentration point. Enemies attack him, he gains 20% turn bar. So he'll be getting turns fairly often if he's getting attacked, meaning you'll get your turns, get your concentration points up. Then his second skill, attacks an enemy strongly. Again, that strongly, interesting to see the multiplier. Increasing attack based on own speed. Speed multiplier is always handy. If he has 2 concentration points, which aren't too hard to get with him because he's always getting turns, the attack ignores the enemy's defense. So this looks like it'll be probably not as strong as the succubus was before the nerf, just because obviously we don't know multipliers, but you've got to work up those concentration points to get the ignore defense. But in like things like, I feel like even the raid bosses, this will be very handy. But yeah, real nice, easy to get those concentration points up. And then of course he's just going to be getting so many turns as he's getting attacked, won't be getting killed because he spreads the damage. And it just seems like he'll synergize really well with things like, I'm even thinking anything that can get reverse. Like, I'm thinking this guy, if you team him up with the Fire Death Knight, who's a very average monster, but like, then obviously he'll be spreading damage between all your allies, which will be then healing them as they take the damage. Something like that. I just really want to find a way for people to use that Fire Death Knight, because I know people are having trouble, but I don't have him to test. But yeah, I really like the look of this kit. For PvE and stuff like that, I feel like it'll be really good. PvP, it might take a bit long to ramp up, but if you team him up with some really tanky monsters, then you could outstall the enemy because he's not going to die because he's spreading that damage, and then you can just wear them down after they've used their cooldowns and then just punch them in the face after turn after turn. So he's a really solid looking unit, but like, once again, not game breaking. I'd love to have him and play with him though. Oh, sorry. We'll quickly look at his stats. So decent speed again, and then fairly standard other stats. Attack's not too high, but sometimes these screens do lie. So we'll have to wait until MMEG Farms comes out to really know the attack levels. Next one, while we're on stats, this guy, he evolves into accuracy. You'll see why that's really good in a second. So when we look at his third skill, poisons all enemies twice for 2 turns. If he has 4 concentration points, poisons the enemy twice again for 2 turns. So that would be 3 turns. 3 poisons for 2 turns. We don't know if they skill up to be 3 turns or whatever. So that's really strong, and refills own turn bar by 10%. Turn bar, maybe that'll skill up into higher turn bar increase, but still, 7 turn cooldown seems really long. Hoping for 2 at least cooldown reductions on that. But man, if you got those concentration points, that's a lot of poisons. The next thing is, attacks an enemy strongly, then gives 2 concentration points, and here's the kicker, to all allies, and refills their turn bar by 40%. So not only is he dealing damage, he's also granting your allies concentration point and refilling their turn bar. So that's gonna... I feel like it's meant to synergize with the maidens, the snow maidens, but they just seem really weak to me. So as the game progresses, we get more new monsters with these concentration points. I feel like this guy could be a really key unit in some teams. But obviously it's still a new feature, not too many units have it, so we'll have to just wait and see how it plays out. So that's another cool one. Like I said, again, really nice kit. I feel like it's going to have great synergies as the game evolves, but not too game breaking at the moment. Lots of poisons and good turn bar increase is good, but then you also get that extra concentration points to your allies, which is awesome. Next one. Okay, this guy I really like. So he evolves into accuracy as well, which you'll see why. Let's just have a look at his third skill. Attacks an enemy and lowers their turn bar by 100%. Spot on. Awesome. If the enemy is marked with 3 focus marks, teams up with 3 allies, refills the turn bar of all allies by 20% and reduces their cooldowns by 1. So basically, if the focus marks are up, 3 allies attack, and then the turn bar increases by 20% and reduces 1 cooldown by 1. Really solid, a lot to that skill, but the lower turn bar by 100% is really handy. I'm seeing this guy that if you combine him with the fact that you can get a purge on the first skill, I can see him being awesome in strength. Really awesome in strength. But even though the turn bar reduction doesn't work against the raid boss, I feel like he could be really good against the raid boss too, because you're teaming up, getting that extra damage, increasing turn bars, reducing cooldowns, but then you've got this skill. So decreases the resistance, defense, and speed of all enemies for 2 turns, then marks them with 2 focus marks. Obviously these focus marks, again, it'll be a thing. As more units come out, more synergies will come. That sort of thing. You've got the Kabirs and Maidens to work with for now, and the Pandas, but the fact that you've got an AoE resistance decrease, defense, and speed. So defense and speed are 2 key debuffs you want against the raid boss. So that's just 2 of them straight off the bat. Awesome. For wave 3, especially if he evolves into that purge 3 skills, that boss gets a lot, so you could be purging with just the auto attack on him. So that's another real solid skill. So like I said, these guys, and the design is just amazing. Like, just watch this secondary animation. I love secondary animations in this game, and this one's just, this is awesome. Ready? Here we go. Oh yeah, fist pump. So that I want one just purely for that animation, but they look awesome. He's really iconic in the game. I was really hoping after you had him as the Wastelands boss that you would be able to play this guy, and you finally can. Like I said, limited time, but they say he will be gone forever. I think that's what was said, but I'd say they wouldn't just make it never again you'll be able to get him. I feel like he's going to be a seasonal thing. Maybe even poke him in and out in exclusives or something like that. I think if you're going through all the effort to make a new character, you'd want to make him obtainable for people. So I feel like it's not going to be, like, once again, it's not the end of the world if you don't get him, but man, have fun with him if you do, because he looks awesome. So that's pretty much for this video, guys. Don't forget to catch the stream if you want to see some summons. I've also got some viewer summons that I'm going to do after mine, so we'll probably have 200 to 250 summons, so that'll be sick fun. So also, if you're thinking about streaming YouTube, hit me up anytime, email, Discord. I'll leave all those stuff that I use and have my setup in the description, just so you can have an idea. But I will be working on over the next month or so just a basic guide on how to get started for people. So thanks for watching another video, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.